Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chidima, a fashion tutor based in Port Harcourt. On this channel, I share tutorial on cloth making and pattern drafting. And on today's episode, I will be sharing with you on how I achieved this lovely dress I'm putting on. Stay tuned, don't forget to like, share, comment, and turn on your notification button. Okay, for this I'll be using this African print. I have 6 years of this, but I will not be using all. So the first thing I went ahead to do was to open it and fold it. We'll be drafting the front upper part first before the rest. So what I did was to measure my neck depth of 3.5. Then I took the depth of 3 inches. I came in with my ruler and I connected all to a perfect curve. Okay. So after connecting, I came in with my ruler and measured half of my shoulder, which gave me 7. Okay, from that 7 inches I've measured, I came down by 1 inch to mark my neck slope. So from there, I'm going to be connecting it to the neck depth like so. That will be 7 as my shoulder slant. Okay, now after that, what I'm going to do is to take all my vertical measurement. So what I will do is I'll place my tape at the shoulder and mark my bust line of 9.5, my under bust of 13 inches. Go ahead and measure yours and mark. Then for my half length measures 16, but I'm going to be adding half inches to this for joining. So I'll go ahead and mark my 16.5. So I came in with my ruler, shifted my ruler and repeated the same measurement, 9.5, 13 inches and 16.5. Now I came in with my ruler and connected everything to a straight horizontal line like so. After that, I placed my tape at that 1 inch. I came down and measured my shoulder armhole depth, okay, which gave me 7. To get yours, go ahead and do your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then after making the mark, I connected it into a vertical line like so. Can you see? Now placing my tape ruler like I'm doing in the video, I went ahead and ruled it out. Okay, this new line will be 7 as my chest line. Okay, so this is my chest line, my under bust, my half length and everything. Okay, so after that, what I'll do is to place my tape at my chest line like so and go ahead and mark my bust circumference divided by 4, which gave me 8.5. After marking that 8.5, the next thing I'm going to do is to place my tape at the armhole depth and measure and get half of it. Remember I marked 7, so half of it should be giving me 3.5. From that 3.5, I went in by half inches like so. Remember we're drafting the front part first. Okay, so coming in with my ruler, I'm going to be connecting everything into a curve. Coming in with my tape, I'm going to place it at my bust measurement and take my 8.5, the same thing. Okay, my bust circumference divided by 4, which gave me 8.5. Then at my under bust, I'm going to mark it, which gave me 8. My under bust divided by 4. Then at my half length, I'm going to measure my half length divided by 4, which gave me 7.5. My half length measures 30 by 4 will give me 7.5. Now this thing, I'm going to be using a dart of 1 inches. So the 1 inches, I'm going to be adding my 1 inch. Then I want this cloth, because I'm going to be turning with lining and all, I'm going to be adding extra 2 inches allowance, so everything 3 inches. So I'll extend my tape like so and add 3 inches to the bust line from the marked line before. Okay, at the under bust also I'll repeat the same thing. I'll add at my bust line, I'll add 3 inches at my under bust. Okay, so 1 will be 7 as my dart, while the 2 will be 7 as my seam allowance. So at the half length also I added 3 inches. Take note of that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect, but for now we are not ruling out our darts yet. We'll be doing that much later after joining with lining. So what I did was to come in with my scissors and go ahead and cut the lines. Okay. The next thing I did was to come in with another material that is folded. Okay, so the first thing I did was to go ahead and mark out 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. Okay, so after marking it out from the beginning to the end, I came in with my ruler and I ruled it into a straight vertical line. Okay, on that vertical line will be where I will be placing my front pattern, the initially cut out front pattern. I'm going to be placing it here. I'll make sure that it merges with that ruled out straight line. So what I'll go ahead to do is to mark my neck depth of 2 inches, which I'll be working on later on. Okay, but for now go ahead and mark the depth of 2 inches and connect it to the front neckline using that cut out one as a guide. So after that, you go ahead and cut out everything without adding allowance to it. Okay, so but the place I'll be adding allowance to, so I'll go ahead and add allowance to the side, allowance of half inches all the way along the side. Okay, also at the armhole I'm going to be adding half inch to it. Normally the armhole of the front is supposed to be wider than that of the back. So I'll go ahead and add half inch all the way around the armhole and come in with my scissors and cut it out. The next thing I did after that was to extend my bust line, okay, because I'm going to be taking out some inches from the zipper allowance. Remember the half inch I gave at the back, okay, at the side. I'm going to be taking it out from the zipper allowance. This is to prevent zipper bulge. So what you have to do is to go ahead and mark your half inch starting from the ending of the zipper allowance, the closed edge, and go ahead and mark it up to the bust line, and then come in with your scissors and cut it out. So sorry that it didn't show, okay, it wasn't intentional. So go ahead and cut it out. When you stop at the bust line, also go ahead and put your scissors in between the folded fabric and divide it into two, because you need two pieces of the back pattern. So after that, go ahead and come in with your scissors and finish up the neckline nicely as I'm doing, following the marked line, okay. Okay, I'll also go ahead and pin the line like so. Okay, the zipper allowance that I marked out, I'll go ahead and take my time and pin it all the way down, because it's time to work on the neckline. So take your time and pin yours, it is very necessary. So after pinning, the next thing you go ahead to do is to open the piece. Okay, go ahead and place it like so and bring in the front part. Okay, so you can see what I did. I placed the back side facing the back side. We'll be working on the front side of the front part. Okay, so go ahead and align your own like this. The first thing you have to do is to go ahead and work on the neckline. You have to go ahead and trim off the excess neckline you have at the back first. Okay, so after doing that, my armhole, I worked with 7 inches armhole. So what I did was, from the end I came up by 3 inches. Okay, so from there also you have to get the center of your front neckline. Okay, like I did, I marked my own. Then from there you're going to slant it to that 3 inches you came up. Okay, so from the armhole I came up by 3 inches, then I got the center, and from the center I slant it towards the left hand side. So it is very necessary you keep yours on your body and note the left hand side of your dress. I did mine and I noted the left hand side of my dress, which is the side I'm cutting off now. So go ahead and come in with your scissors and cut out both the front and back pattern. Okay, the one side of the front and back pattern. After cutting, this is what I have. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to work on my back pattern. Yes, because the zipper side was not straight, so I went ahead and aligned it and cut it out to have a perfect curve. Remember I told you that we'll be turning this thing with lining, so you don't want it looking awful after turning everything. So I went ahead and trimmed mine. This is what I have after trimming. Can you see? So the lining, note you'll be cutting the lining open. So we are done working on the upper part. Okay, so what I went ahead to do was to cut the lining open. Okay, individually, you cut out the lining individually. Okay, so the next thing now is to work on the down part of this dress. So my full length measures 55 minus my half inches that I've worked on gave me 39 plus 2 inches allowance will give me 41. So that's my full length. So I came down from my starting line by my hip measurement. I marked my 8 and also went ahead and marked my 49 inches, which is my desired length of 39 plus 2 inches allowance. All right, now from that my starting line, I'm going to be marking my dart out. So my dart, my nipple to nipple measure 7 inches divided by 2, 3.5. So go ahead and add half inches to whatever half of your nipple to nipple gave you. So mine is 4 inches. I went ahead and marked the 4 inches. So the length of my dart, I will be working with 6 inches. Go ahead and minus 2 inches from your hip length. Okay, so my hip is 8 minus 2 will give me 6. So I've marked the length. On the leg of that dart, you go ahead and come out by half inches on both sides. So after coming out, you're going to be connecting it by to that 6 inches you came down by. Okay, so go ahead and slant your ruler like so and connect it downward. Okay, now take your time, because how beautiful your dress turns out depends on how well you manage your dart. Okay, after doing that, what I'll do is to place my tape at my starting point and take my half length divided by 4, okay, which gave me 7.5. Then I went ahead and returned my 1 inch dart allowance. Okay, so I also placed it at my hip and took my hip divided by 4, which is 9. My hip measures 36 by 4, gave me 9. So after doing that, the next thing is to go ahead and add allowance. So I'll be working with 2 inches allowance, which I also added to the upper upper part. Okay, so I'll come down to my hip points and still maintain the 2 inches. Now coming down to the hemline, what I'm going to be marking there is my 7.5. That's my half length divided by 4 measurements. Then here I'm going to be using 1.5 inches allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect the 3 points beautifully like so. Okay, I'll connect the first one, then using my straight ruler I'll come down and try and connect the hemline, the line that I marked at the hemline. All right. After joining the lines, I'll come in with my scissors and go ahead and cut out the line following the marked out line. Okay, just take your time and trace the line and cut it out beautifully. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to be cutting the starting line, but I'll go ahead and use my initiative to add half inches, or you can go ahead to mark out your own. Okay, so add out like half inch because you're going to be joining it to the upper part. Please make sure you do this. Okay, so having done that, the next thing is I went ahead and folded another material that I'll be using to cut out the back pattern. Now the first step is to go ahead and mark your zipper allowance. Okay, please make sure you don't omit this step. So go ahead and mark out your zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. The same thing I used at the upper part, that's the same thing I'm using here. So after marking it, connect it into a straight line and place your front pattern on top of that straight line that you've done. So what you're going to do here now is to go ahead and cut out everything beautifully. Okay, just cut out the side beautifully, but while cutting, we are going to be adding half inches to it because we are going to be taking it out from the marked out zipper allowance side. Okay, so just go ahead and cut and make sure that you add your half inch all the way from the down to the top. All right, because I'll be showing you what we'll be using it to do later. Now you can see how I'm adding my own. I'm adding half inch all the way along the side. After cutting, go ahead and extend your hip line on the back pattern. So after extending it, what you're going to do is now from the down, I'm going to take out half inch all the way to that my hip allowance. Can you see from the down, that zipper allowance side, I'm going to carefully take out half inch. This is to give it a kind of contour. Okay, hip contour, so you know that the back, the lower part after the hip is not actually straight, it is a bit inward. So taking out half inch will give it that curve. So you see what I did, I took it out till I reached that my hip point, and I went ahead and slanted it towards the end. So with that, we are done drafting. The next thing you have to do now is to fold your front and back pattern using the marked out dart and go ahead and notch it. Okay, so that you'll be able to recreate it on the back side. Okay, so after doing that, what you have to do, remember, you have to open your back skirt part till the end. Yes, you also need 2 pieces of that. Can you see how my own is? After that, go ahead and mark out your dart on the back pattern. You are going to be using that notched line to go ahead and mark it out. So here I'm done marking out all my darts on the pieces. Okay, so and this is all I have for this, the whole pieces that we've cut out. I've gone ahead to cut lining. You can see that the front upper parts, I cut out the lining individually for them because it will not be on fold. None will be on fold. You take your time and cut out lining for the 4 pieces you're working with. Okay, so the down part also, I took my time and cut it. Now the lining is shorter than the fabric by 2 inches, and this is because I don't want a situation whereby the lining will be shooting out after making this dress. So I'll be taking my time to show you how to turn this if you don't know how to turn it, since the lining is shorter than the fabric. Remember, we added 2 inches while drafting it out, so hence my own also needs to be 2 inches shorter than the lining, needs to be 2 inches shorter than the main fabric. Okay, both lining, both the front part and the back part lining. Okay, so with that, we've come to the end of this drafting. Okay, so what you go ahead to do now is to start turning it. Okay, which I'll be showing you in our next tutorial. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and turn on your notification button so that you get to be notified when I'll be posting the second part of this beautiful dress. All right, this is the outcome.